Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. And today I'm going to start this video series I've been wanting to do. I gave a quick condensed testimony of my entire life, highlighting my new age to Jesus stories. And each of those incidents of life deserves its own video, its own testimony. I want to say something about Ouija boards. And this story is about the Ouija board when I was like 11 years old. At 17, me and my best friends, we were high schoolers and we were crazy hippies. This was like when the craft came out. We were like trying to be crazy artists, bohemian peoples. So me and my friend are sitting there doing this Ouija board in my room. The thing worked, okay? Oh my God. We thought we were talking to a friend that had committed suicide. But then we both realized that we were absolutely not talking to our friend. We were like, this is wrong. And we stopped. We were both like, this is wrong. Like something's off and something's evil about this. Get this away. Like, oh my God, we threw it out. And this friend of mine would not mess with me like that. That was not her at all to like mess with me like that. Like if she was going to tell a joke and be funny, she would laugh and then say, oh, like this was dead serious. And this was at the height of me wanting to be cool and edgy and rebellious. So for me to be like, no, get away from this. I meant it. All right. Like something happened and I meant it. So that was at 17. And for all the years going through Wicca, going through witchcraft, going through as much as I could have gone through in the next decades, all through that, I was like, nope, stay away from this thing. And even though I'd never really believed in demonic spirits or evil spirits, I was like, this is evil. Let's go back now to like elementary school. So I was like bullied in, elementary school. Like I was strange. Like I didn't fit in. And it was something this like I did not take that well. I did not handle that well. I did not handle that with much grace at all. And even though most of my private home life was fun and good, aside from the insanity, besides like the crazy insanity of my home life, which was real, most of the time I was happy and funny and weird. I had my friends, and all my friends tended to be a little bit older than me. And my younger sister, my mom and dad, and we were raised in this like, halfway Catholic, went to home CCD and Christmas and Easter, going to church, to mass. But we did have a high regard for Jesus Christ in our household. So here's the story. Right, so I'm like 11 years old and I have these friends that are like girlfriends that are like a couple years older than me. And they have friends that are older than them. So like there's this whole group of like friends and cool kids, all right? These were like the metalheads, all right? With the long hair. These were the headbangers. And these were crazy, edgy, cool kids, right? So through my friends, I met these guys and I was like, oh my God, these guys are just so cool. Like, and it was an escape, right? From being bullied and being a loser in elementary school. So I got this like haven of coolness. So in that summer of 1989, Batman came out and it was in Ghostbusters 2 and it was this summer. We just somehow ended up having all these parties here at my house and invited all these like cool, edgy kids and headbangers and like, who knows, like 14 years old, I don't know, to come. And we had these parties and they were here and we would have Twizzlers and soda and do contests and like play Dion and the Belmonts. And it was... And I knew they were like, I was not as cool or edgy as them. But as an 11-year-old, as I was, I wasn't trying so much to be like them. For instance, so I said, Dad, could you take me to Colors? I want to buy like a metal tape, heavy metal album, so I could be cool like these kids. So we go and I'm looking and there's Iron Maiden, there's Metallica, Judas Priest, whatever. And I end up buying Paula Abdul's Forever Your Girl tape. That's how committed I was to fitting in with this group. But do you see like the vanities now are starting to kick up? Caring about what other people think about you, all this. Like you see how that's all working together here. So anyway, I have this Paula Abdul tape at home and I'm playing it. So like, and everybody knew I had the Paula Abdul tape. I'm still being myself, right? Around these kids that I think are just like way cool, and I could be cool too. But I'm mostly just being my dorky, funny self. So at some point in this summer, and we're having these parties and sleepovers, we get out the Ouija board, and there's like several of us playing with this Ouija board. So, oh my gosh. At some point, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, everyone in the room starts freaking out. Like, everyone starts going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It jumped into the stuffed animal dog. Whatever it was is in the stuffed animal dog. And I'm like, oh my God, it's in the stuffed animal dog. And everyone is freaking out. And I have no way of knowing if they're messing with me or being serious, but I was terrified. I was so scared. I really was gonna jump out of my own face. I was scared. So we all run out of the room, and my dad wakes up. He's like, what is going on? I'm like, Dad, no, you can't go in there. There's a spirit in the dog. And he just wasn't having it, right? So he storms in there, and I don't know what happened next. I was probably rolling around on the floor. But after that, I don't really remember what happened. I guess we all just went to bed, and really no one brought it up again that I remember. And I don't even know if I threw out the dog, the stuffed animal dog that the spirit went into. I know it just sounds really silly and crazy, and they probably were, I don't know, were messing with me or whatnot. I don't know what that was. All I know is it was the summer of 1989. I'm hanging out with the edgy, cool kids and from around the way, and it's like helping my cred. It's helping my street cred. Anyway, the end of the summer rolls around, and it's the end of the summer in 1989. I'm 11 years old, and like all the cool kids go back to high school or middle school, wherever they were, whatever they were doing. Now that I have all this experience with hanging out with like the cool metalheads, and now I feel like I have my little niche now, and I got the heavy metal. Now I'm getting like the heavy metal t-shirts and ripped jeans and, you know, whatever, the earring of a skull or a knife. Almost at the beginning of the school year, this is the 6th grade, I all of a sudden start telling people I'm in school with, other 11 and 12-year-old kids, that I worship the devil. I started telling everybody that I worship Satan, and I meant it. I don't remember when the idea went into my head that this is what I was going to say to my classmates, or that this was what I was going to do. And anybody remember 6th grade? Remember Jen saying she worshiped the devil? Remember Jen said she was going to perform all these like miracles, or not miracle, whatever, like magic things in the schoolyard? Do you remember how the teachers intercepted on that day and rescued me from having to perform an outrageous ritual magic spell? Do anybody remember this? You blocked it out of your memory, didn't you? Because so did I. And so also, I actually believed that I did worship the devil. You know, even though I didn't actually like actively worship, like I didn't like do worship things or like music. Like I didn't do an activity, but I just believed that I did. And not only that, but my head was like filled with darkness, like horror, like demonic horror movie type imagery that I was fascinated with. I had a background of liking horror, like Friday the 13th and like Freddy Krueger and stuff, but now I was just getting like sick, like supernaturally weird, spiritual, demonic, darkness, obsessing over imagery, obsessing over like Ozzy Osbourne, like Crazy Babies, like the music videos and the imagery, like I'm obsessing over it. And it was messed up. Like my father was getting really pissed with me. Like this was becoming kind of a problem. There was some cutting involved. Like I cut like with a tack, scraped like an upside down cross into my skin. I don't even remember where I did it. But what was this? You know what I'm saying? And then somehow, suddenly, but around the summertime, so now it's 1990. I'm 12, the summer. At some point, I just like look out the window. I'm saying, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to I don't want to worship the devil anymore. And looking back, growing up and becoming a mature adult and looking back at those years, I was just chalked up to me, like, I had wanted to be cool and fit in, and I found this world that, like, gave me cool powers. But the thing was, all this dark satanic stuff and being like, I don't know what I thought I was being, but all this like extra stuff, this stuff was not going on when those kids were around. I bought a Paula Abdul tape. Like, I really wasn't going out of my way to impress the older kids that were actually in part of my life. And when I got back to elementary school, it wasn't enough to just like have the t-shirt or like I shave a little part of your head or any of this and trying to emulate the environment I had been in. How did I take it all the way to complete insanity? How did that happen? And so again, for years, I just chalked it up to like just me being crazy and weird and funny or whatever, and that I needed it to be the most. But now, 30 years later, and I find Jesus and I'm born again, and now I have covenant eyes. I look back at this whole story and think, this weirdness happened, this craziness happened a month after we played with the Ouija board in my room. I'm just saying. There was nothing that happened when I was with the group together that was outrageous or that I had to do to prove myself. What was this? And let me tell you something. This telling people I worship the devil did not help me. This did not help me. No one was scared. No one took it seriously. They laughed at me right from the start. So how come I kept doing it? Why did I think this was great? Looking back, you tell me. I don't know. This looks like something was happening spiritually. I don't know what's with the Ouija board, but something's with it. Something happened. Something happened there. I don't have another explanation for it. It doesn't make sense. Because the kids I could have been impressing that were my friends now sort of hang out with me, I didn't have to do all this. And when I went back to the school, I didn't have to tell people I worship the devil. Where did that even come from? Like, where did that come from? Did that come from Motley Crue's pentagram on their album, Shout at the Devil? I don't know where this came from. Now I have an idea. So that's another thing that happens when you find Christ. You look at these things very differently. So what do you think? You tell me. So the end result and the whole point of this story and setting it up is, number one, do not mess with this Ouija board. Like, just throw it away. Don't stop. It's all over Michael's. It's all over the craft stores. This is decor. And I just think that's a little crazy. A little bit much. But also, even years and years before, like, I was a Christian, and before I even believed in demons, I still thought this thing was evil. And I always was like, stay away from it. Even when I was like the big spiritual, like, whatever I was. But also, at this point, once that happened, all of my innocence was gone. At 11, 12 years old, just about turning 12. The innocent me, the part of me that was silly and funny and cute and weird and all, that was gone forever. The innocence was broken and the innocence was gone. And you might be like, Jen, that's, a bit of a stretch here. You're saying the Mattel board game, possessed you and ruined your life. I don't know. You tell me. It seems a little strange. You others with covenant eyes know exactly what I'm talking about. My childhood was beyond over. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. God bring you closer to Him. Whether you are washed in His blood and born again or not, let Him continually bring Himself closer to you. Heart and mind, soul and body. Amen? Happy spring, and I'll see you soon. Stay away. No Ouija. No Ouija.